Also, as you mentioned, is a fifth straight quarter of GAAP profitability, which is really important because we think at this point, the S&P 500 Index Committee is hard-pressed to not add this stock to the index, which is the near-term catalyst. And one of the main reasons why we've reiterated our buy rating and raised our price target by $50 to $550.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So as many of you will know, Tesla recently posted their fifth consecutive quarterly profit and their fifth consecutive quarter in which they beat Wall Street analyst estimates. Surprise, surprise. In this video, I'm going to react to a few comments from Garrett Nelson, Senior Research Analyst at CFRA Research, who have a $550 price target on Tesla stock. We'll talk about Tesla's potential for S&P 500 inclusion, as well as some thoughts around whether a Trump or a Biden win will work out best for Tesla over the long run. So let's get into the video. But first, don't forget if you'd like 3 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. Sign up, open a new account, deposit $100, you'll get 3 free stocks. 2 of them value between $8 and $1,600 each. And if you're in Australia, the UK or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
Tesla's riding high this morning after posting its fifth straight quarter of profits. Garrett Nelson, who covers Tesla at CFRA, joins us now. Garrett, good to see you. What's your take on the quarter?
Sure. So thanks for having me. It was a better than expected quarter. The earnings per share came in 16 cents above consensus. This was the fifth straight quarter they've posted earnings that were ahead of consensus. Also, as you mentioned, is a fifth straight quarter of GAAP profitability, which is really important because we think at this point, the S&P 500 Index Committee is hard-pressed to not add this stock to the index, which is the near-term catalyst. And one of the main reasons why we've reiterated our buy rating and raised our price target by $50 to $550.
Kind of a weird reason to be upgrading a Tesla stock price target by 10% just based on potential S&P 500 inclusion. I mean, it doesn't change anything fundamental about the company, the business, the competitive landscape, but I do understand where they're coming from. As I've discussed in the past, there is often at least a short-term bump in a stock price once it's added to the index because of all the buying activity. So reasonable, but I mean, come on guys, really? Just because of the S&P 500 inclusion, that's really why you're upgrading the stock? Not a good look. That said, I do agree, however, that it's going to be nigh impossible for the S&P 500 not to include Tesla very soon. Now, there's a little bit of FUD out in the media. Oh, Tesla's dependent on regulatory credits. I've kind of covered this before. Maybe the S&P are buying into this BS and this FUD and going, okay, well, we're not going to include Tesla until they can show quarterly profits without the regulatory credits. Weird. I mean, they're available. It's money. Tesla uses that money to build new factories. It's not like the capital doesn't exist. It's not like it doesn't count. But hey, whatever methodology the S&P 500 want to use, that's fine. But hey, if they continue to exclude Tesla from the index now, they may as well rename themselves to the S&P 499 and begin guaranteeing suboptimal returns to all their investors. Let me know in the comments below when, if at all, do you think the S&P 500 index will include Tesla?
Garrett, Elon Musk on the call cautioned investors it could take a year, maybe even 2 years to hit full capacity at some of the new factories that they're opening up in Austin, Texas, and the one in Germany. That definitely pushes the timeline back.
I don't want to be too mean here, but that's such a stupid comment. Tesla's ahead of schedule. It's not like these factories construct themselves instantaneously and then are fully ramped. This isn't news. This doesn't push anything back. Things are going along very smoothly, actually.
What does that do in terms of revenue and growth for Tesla in terms of your projections?
Sure. So that's the nature of these factories. They're very, very large factories. And the reality is it takes several months to ramp them up to full capacity, the new factory in Germany and also outside of Austin, Texas. So, these are extremely large facilities. It's just going to take some time. I think what wasn't appreciated the way it should be in the release is that Tesla very quietly increased their annual production capacity from 690,000 vehicles a year to 840,000 vehicles a year versus 3 months earlier. So that's a 22% increase in their production capacity between the Fremont factory in California and the China factory. So it's a big increase. And I don't think there was enough focus on that aspect of their earnings release.
understatement of the century. Now, I really don't know what it is with the Wall Street analysts covering Tesla, but they just don't seem to be able to use their brain cells to deduce what the likely production volume of Tesla is going to be in the future, or they just don't seem to care, or they just can't fathom that there's possibly going to be demand for those products. As recently as earlier this month, JP Morgan came out with a Tesla delivery estimates figure for 2022 of just 768,500 vehicles, which is less than the total production capacity will be at the end of this year. What do they think Tesla's going to do for the entirety of 2021 and 2022? Stop building factories, not bother bringing Berlin online, not bother bringing Austin online, and stop increasing production capacity? Like, this is the disconnect between Wall Street and the facts that Tesla are presenting every quarter. It's so amazing to see them being completely ignored. Tesla will deliver around 1 million vehicles in 2021 and closer to 2 million vehicles in 2022. Now, some people listening may think this sounds completely insane. Go look at the numbers. Look at the production capacity for Fremont and Shanghai and Berlin and Austin. Do the numbers. You will understand this isn't some crazy Tesla fanboy pulling stuff out of his ass. This is what's going to happen. What's this? You think I sound like a crazy fanboy and I'm full of shit? Oh, no problem, dude. The video's not going anywhere. Set yourself a reminder for about 14 months and another one for about 26 months from now and we'll see. I'm not going anywhere. The videos aren't going anywhere. So please keep me accountable.
I would argue too, Garrett, not a lot of focus coming off the earnings call last night on the Cybertruck. Tesla gave us some more clues. They will start potentially shipping some of these trucks in the latter half of 2021 and early into 2022. Certainly, I'm sure you saw the GM news with the electric Hummer this week. They're dubbing it the super truck. How big of a sales driver will the Cybertruck be for Tesla?
We think it'll be a huge sales driver. And you look at the specs of that, the Cybertruck versus the Hummer. The Hummer is pushing six figures as far as the MSRP starting price. So, the Cybertruck is much more competitively priced, and so we think it'll sell a lot more units than the Hummer. So, we're very bullish on the Cybertruck, and I think everyone was very surprised at the strength of the reservations that Tesla received after the rollout of that vehicle, which was kind of botched. You had the two windows that broke during that demonstration by Elon Musk. So, we're bullish on that. The Cybertruck, you'll have the semi-truck coming, and then beyond that, the Roadster and some other vehicles. So, Tesla's pipeline looks very strong in the coming years.
Is the Cybertruck, in your view, is that going to be a mass market truck?
Probably more of a niche product, but I think when consumers see the product and see the acceleration and the towing capacity, really the strength of that, the pickup truck segment is so strong in the United States that we think it will have some appeal beyond the niche product, and the sales I think will surprise to the upside.
I completely agree on this point. Now, I think a lot of people seem to be under the assumption the Cybertruck's not going to be a high volume vehicle because it looks so weird. But as I explained in my video, Cybertruck is engineering genius. It looks that way because it's designed to be incredibly functional and utilitarian, and that is going to appeal to a lot of consumers. It may take some time for people to get over the weird, strange, unique planar design of the Cybertruck. But once they understand the value that this product is offering, I really see this seriously competing in the pickup market.
Garrett, those third quarter results were helped quite a bit by regulatory credit sales. Is there one administration that would be more friendly to an electric vehicle maker like a Tesla that investors should be keeping an eye on?
Sure. So we actually put a report out last month on the implications of a potential Biden win. And in our view, Tesla would be one of the biggest winners as an electric vehicle pure play, because EVs are going to would be very heavily subsidized under a Biden administration. If you look at what he's proposing, a massive expansion of tax credits and also a huge build out of EV charging stations. You look at non-residential EV charging stations, they currently total only about 27,000 in the United States. He wants to increase that number by 500,000. So you're looking at about a 20-fold increase in the number of EV charging stations, which would really help the electric vehicles in the adoption, certainly in a lot of the states where they really haven't gained traction so far.
Now, in my totally unqualified outsider looking in, I'm from Australia, don't listen to anything I've got to say about United States politics. I've got no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, one more time, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Now, here's the thing, by the way, just a pro tip in life. When you do have no idea what you're talking about, it's always better to tell people first, then open your mouth. So now I'm about to open my mouth after explaining I have no idea what I'm talking about. I actually think that for Tesla, a Trump win will favor them more than a Biden win. Now, please, let me explain. If you're not Tesla, a Biden win would be fantastic if you're trying to build electric vehicles. But here's the thing, Tesla doesn't need help. They've already won. Everybody else is scrambling and trying to catch up to Tesla's unassailable lead, which is accelerating. It's great for anybody trying to compete with Tesla in the electric vehicle space, but it's not great for Tesla. It doesn't mean anything to them. Oh, look, we need to invest lots of money in charging infrastructure. Well, Tesla doesn't because they've already built out their supercharging network. We need to invest more money in battery technology. Well, Tesla just announced their battery invest today, their plans to accelerate battery cell technology themselves. They don't need any help. Tesla doesn't need any subsidies to keep selling their vehicles in the United States. You guys understand where I'm coming at from this, right? I understand that Biden overall, very interested in renewable energy and getting people off fossil fuels, but in the case of Tesla, in the competitive landscape, a Biden win isn't going to benefit them whatsoever, in my opinion. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about. However, a Trump administration, very manufacturing heavy, very made in America heavy, very business oriented, bringing down tax rates and stuff. I actually think that a Trump presidency would benefit Tesla more. Again, if they weren't so far out ahead, they weren't already dominating, they didn't already have an unassailable lead, it would be a different story. But I think that the competitive environment that Tesla will be operating under a Trump administration, given the fact that they're going to be manufacturing huge numbers of vehicles and battery cells, especially in Austin very soon, I think that a Trump win actually works in Tesla's favor. Now, this isn't an endorsement of either candidate. I'm not getting into that, but I just wanted to share my unqualified Australian thoughts. Please let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? Now, again, please think a little bit deeper than Biden likes electric vehicles or Biden likes renewable energy. What do you guys think in terms of just the whole big picture at a macro level? Do you think a Trump administration or a Biden administration will serve Tesla better over the next 4 years, keeping in mind that Tesla is aggressively expanding and doing as much manufacturing locally in the United States as they possibly can?
Garrett, in your analysis, were you able to quantify what a Biden win might mean for Tesla's bottom line or maybe for its stock price?
No, we haven't. We look at more of the market dynamics. So we know electric vehicles accounted for just under 2% of all new vehicle sales in the US last year. Under a base case scenario, we see that increasing to about 20% of new vehicle sales in 2030. So, a huge earnings increase. I think the way to look at it is under a Biden administration, you'd be probably looking at something a little more bullish than 20% in 2030, maybe something in the vicinity of 25%, because EVs would be so heavily subsidized.
I don't want to be too mean here because, I'm not actually from the future, so I don't actually know this for sure, but I am willing to stake my reputation on it. In the year 2030, the vast majority of new vehicles produced and sold in the United States will be electric. And the vast majority of companies who today currently produce internal combustion engine vehicles will no longer be in business. And for the people who don't believe me, have never seen a disruptive technology, have never studied history, don't know what an S-curve adoption rate is, or just completely disagree with my position, that's okay. I'm not saying this to convince you. I'm saying this for leverage in 10 years' time when there's videos of me in 2020 telling everybody at the time who thought that maybe in the year 2030 EVs might be 20-25% of the new vehicle market, that in fact it's going to be almost the entire market. Because when I've predicted this 10 years ahead of time, it's going to be wonderful to clip that video and go, hey guys, remember 10 years ago when I said this and everyone thought I was a moron? Well, I was right. In fact, this is a great moment to give you guys a little bit of insight into my YouTube channel, my strategy for conveying information and so on, because I think at this point in time, I do understand there's a lot of people who misunderstand me, my thinking, my reasoning. The point of this YouTube channel is to give you guys just the tip of the iceberg. I'm not talking about all the hundreds, thousands of hours of research that I've done. That's your job. I tell you what I think I know based on my research. You should go verify. Check, does what I say make sense or not? I never pull numbers out of my ass and make stuff up without having a good reason for saying that. But I don't always spend 45 minutes explaining the reasoning behind that. That's your job. So sometimes you'll hear me make a prediction, like the fact that in 2030 the vast majority of new vehicles will be electric. Now some people hear that and go, what a moron, how does he know that? Some other people go, this guy's reasonably smart and maybe has a good reason for believing that. Let me try and find those reasons out myself. Pro tip, the singularity is near, exponential growth in technology, declining cost curves, etc, etc, etc. Today's hyperbole is tomorrow's credibility. The reason that I'm so hyperbolic in my statements isn't because I don't have any foundation for believing them. It's because in 10 years time, in 5 years time, when I clip the videos of me today saying in no uncertain terms the way things will be in the future, a few less people will be dismissive and a few more people will be inquisitive. Wait a minute, this guy's been right 420,000 times in the last 10 years. Maybe instead of dismissing his claims about what might occur in the next 5 or 10 years, I'll try to understand his perspective. Instead of reacting and just going, no, that doesn't make any sense, I'll go, well, hang on. Track record's pretty good. Why does this weird guy with big ears on YouTube who thinks he knows stuff about the future keep knowing stuff about the future?
Oh my god, what an arrogant prick.
Yep, I'll own it. No question. Obnoxiously confident, bordering on arrogant, zero question. See you in 2030. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Don't forget, if you'd like 3 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. Sign up, open a new account, deposit $100. You'll get 3 free stocks. 2 of them valued between $8 and $1,600 each. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also using the link in the description.
Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.